Thank you. Eric, your thoughts on this, please.
Well, guns are out here, but I think awareness is like the key thing with guns. You know, I was a victim of gun violence. You know, I was shot and paralyzed, and that's what we do since we bring out more awareness to the different neighborhoods and let kids see exactly what guns do and how it affects families, not only the person that you shoot and how senseless it is, until we bring that awareness and let them know that, hey, this is you, you know, and then you pulling that trigger, you're not the only shooter, your mother's shooting, your brother, your sister, everybody that cares about you is shooting that gun with you, you know, and then at the same time, the person that you hit, you gotta say, you're not only shooting him, you're shooting his mother, his father, you know, the dreams that he had, the dreams that they had for him, you know, and then you gotta look at the mothers, because the mothers, you know, we have mothers that's gonna be crying either way it go. If it's the front row of the funeral home, or the front row or the courtroom, both of them might have a heart attack and drop dead. You know, so we got to bring awareness to them and let them know when you pull this gun out, it's selfish. That's a selfish act.
Moving in that same direction, some of the other students, how does violence affect your life directly? Speak to that a little bit more, Miguel.
Well, violence is everywhere. It's in our streets, in school, and even at the workplace. This school should be a place for learning, not violence. You shouldn't want to go to school because you want to beat someone, or you shouldn't be afraid of going to school because you might get jumped, or you shouldn't be afraid to go down the street either. You know, it's a free country. You should be allowed to roam the streets without having to watch your back all the time.
Violence is, like you say, violence is everywhere. And the thing about violence is we so used to seeing it and we so used to be around it that we start to get numb to it. So when we see it, it's like you can see somebody right in front of you get jumped on or get beaten, and you don't try to stop it. You don't think you should stop it. What they do is you record it on your phone, because this is like, it's so much around you, so much that now it's like you're so numb to it that when you see it, these kids is thinking it's a way of life. Like, oh, we supposed to fight. If we get into it, we supposed to fight, because that's all we grew up seeing. That's all we know. And then the craziest thing is that when the little kids start fighting, the little kids, they parents and older brothers and older siblings, they are watching. Making them fight. They watching them fight. What? He touched you? Well, beat him up. You know, so it's like that's all that they know. And so when you say, how does violence affect my life? It's like, all you see is violence, whether it's gang violence, gun violence, verbal violence, mental violence. Violence is like in our community. Like it's a big part of our community, and it's making a lot of the younger kids numb to seeing it. So they're heartless. They don't care if you get your head stomped in. Well, that's what's supposed to happen. You know, that's how they thinking. So violence is like, it's really effective in our communities.
Thank you.
Really.
Let's change the scenario a little bit, and we're going to say to you young people that you have the power to change these negative things. What would you do to make things different? We'll start with you, Janetta.
To make things differently in our community, I will take out the drugs and the guns, because the drugs, the violence is, a lot of the violence is because of the drugs, because they're fighting over the drugs, because the drugs bring money. You know, so they're fighting over the money and the drugs. And then when the guns are placed in the community, I'm saying placed in the community because a lot of the guys on the block don't have ships and planes and things like that. So when the guns are placed in the community and the drugs are there or whatever, it causes them to shoot each other and to fight each other over the drugs and money. So if I can change some things, I would take the guns and the drugs and that stuff out of the community, and I will also place more Black history in the schools and the classrooms that go past slavery, because a lot of the times the only thing we're taught in the classrooms is slavery. You know, you taught that you were a slave, but you was more than that. You know, history go beyond that. So I would change a little bit more the curriculum and what these kids are learning in the schools.
Okay, thank you. How about you, Antonio?
I changed the schools and the gang violence. I mean the guns. I changed the school because really, the schools don't even really be doing nothing. Unless the school's good. Some schools just be on some other stuff. If you change the schools, then you really change everything. Because the schools is better, the people, they'll think better, then they'll do better. So if you really just change the schools, then people, all you're gonna do is think about school and then get off the gangs and the drugs and all that. They wanna do something with their life. So to me, just change the schools.
Brian, if you had the power to change things, and you're a freshman in high school, what would you do to make some changes so that the violence could stop?
Like, they said most of everything, but like put some more activities out for the students to keep their mind on the right path and focus, like sports and stuff that they like to do and stuff.
How about you, Eric?
Well, I agree with everything everyone said here, but what I do, I change. In order to change things, you know, we have to set up our example. We have to say, hey, I'm gonna stand up and say, I'm tired of it. So what I do, I'll go out and I'll talk to a neighbor, become a friend. What it is, we talk about the hood so much and how we want to be hood, but there's no neighbors out there. And if you ain't a neighbor, you don't speak to the person next to you. A lot of people don't even know all the people that stay on their block. You know, whereas if I'm against him because we can stay on the same block, but I'm against him because he's Hispanic and I'm black, so we never speak. You know, whereas if I remember a long time ago, people used to, when there's a new person, it's somebody to greet them. It's somebody to greet them, say,
Come
hey,
and
welcome.
say hi.
Yeah, how you doing?
Welcome to the neighborhood.
You know, they want to stereotype us, or because he has braids in his hair, or because his pants down, you know, he's a thug or he's a criminal. You know, instead of embracing the kid for being a kid, say, how you doing? So if you already label him, and already got a place for him to really be, instead of educating them. You know, we got 8 new prisons in Illinois, but we closing schools.
Yeah.
So
Good
it's gonna take way more than trying to stop the drugs. Drugs been here forever. Guns gonna be here. But it is, we gotta stand up and say, hey, I'm gonna be a neighbor in my neighborhood. I'm gonna let this old person gotta come out and talk to us. So we gotta embrace the older people, open it up where they're no longer scared because all the wisdom is in them. You know, and we gotta build that bridge. It's a bridge. It's the ball has been dropped.
The connection between human beings.
Right. So it's like violence. Violence is what sold us. And when we was kids, mama say if he hit you, you hit him back. You know, we was raised like that. Now it's just gone way over where no one was told to turn the other cheek. And if you don't turn the other cheek now, and you haven't been taught how to fight, and you run so much, and now guns is just the end thing because other the videos, the music, the video games, and whatever else we see, that we dress into this appearance where I don't want to get dirty. So instead of me getting dirty and fighting them, it's easy for me to shoot them. You know, because I paid $500 for my jeans and my jumpers, you know, and I don't want to get them dirty. And, you know, it's so many of us like that because we emulate what we see on TV, the rappers and the athletes with all the tattoos and all that. So that's what we want to be. We set low standards.
Thank you, Eric.
I wanted to add to what he said about
Miguel.
connecting with other people. I think, like, we need to get rid of the hoods and create more actual neighborhoods, not just hoods, you know? Because a lot of people don't know anything outside the hood. They don't see, and that goes back to schools. I go to Lane Tech, which is a pretty good school, and I had to make up a class in summer school, and I went to Clemente High School, which is in Homo Park. And I just thought that the summer school there was like, it was not good education, is what I want to say, because we need more funding for schools too. The education at Clemente High School it's so low. It's just, I didn't even want to go there anymore, you know? And connecting to other people's unity in neighborhoods, you know, not this is my block and you stay on that block.
Right.
It's a neighborhood, not a hood.